What's going on, folks? It's your boy Javier with the Javier Show. Make sure you say it twice. Got my boy Just Dre up in the building. Finna get it popping. Stay tuned. What's up, Just Dre?
What's good, man?
It's all good, man. It's all good. We gonna wing it today. We ain't got the noble Nadia with us today, but
niggas finna hit that stage with the freestyle.
Oh yeah, we're gonna freestyle it today, and whatever comes of it, comes of it. See, I got my hat on.
I'm about to say, man, you about to go Trump some shit, huh? Like, about to say whatever and shit, huh? That come to your mind, huh?
Yeah, you know, it was a gift. You know, I met a guy at the pawn shop, and we got to talking about Trump and whatnot, and guy was like, "Here, take this here with you, brother." He's like, "Wear it on your next video." So
that nigga fucked up.
You know, I had to got down.
Wow, look at my man's hat though.
Honor the man wishes. So what's up, man? Yesterday, we was having a conversation. We was talking about black people. We were talking about diversity in politics, and we was talking about should the political system be more diverse, and what does that mean? Now, I'll let Just Dre explain his position, but I'm gonna go and say that I honestly feel like I don't care who's in office. I don't care who's the politician. I care about what people think. I care about ideas. I don't care about what gender you are. I don't care about what color you are, what's your background. I care about, do the people have the right ideas in order to make the best decisions for this country? Now, I'm going to let Just Dre go ahead and tell you his position on the matter.
So basically, my position is I don't see why it's a negative thing to have to be inclusive, like to have people from a different background of you, because in theory, you're supposed to be serving the country as a whole, not just Republicans, not just Democrats, not just gay people, not just black people or white people, like American citizens and stuff. You know, so for me, why is it that we see pictures of the Congress and how it's been for the past however many years, and it's all white men, all older white men and stuff. I don't see a problem with the AOC coming. I don't see a problem with the squad, as they call themselves. And stuff. I think that's a good thing. There are many issues and stuff. I don't see why it doesn't make sense to have somebody whose life experience may have made them a better source of reference than you would if you never been through those issues, but this person has. Why would it be a bad thing to include them to the table?
Well, I personally feel like this. In order to make that statement, you have to first prove that white men don't do it better. You gotta first prove that. Now, I'm not an advocate for old white men, but what I will say is,
but you are though, cause you could have said anything in the world. You could have said anything in the world.
Because that's the people you say that's in power right now. Those are the majority of the people that's holding the power right now. Okay. It has been for the past who knows how long. Mm-hmm. But for instance, if I say what majority group raps better, people gonna say what? Black men. Black men rap better, as far as we know. There may be another group out there that raps better than black men, but at this moment, the best information that we have is that black men do it better. And in order to make the argument that maybe we should get more,
that's actually a bad argument, because if you ask a bunch of people, 90% of the motherfuckers are gonna say Eminem is the best rapper.
True. That's one man compared to.
Honestly.
We chose Obama. They thought Obama was the best, and Obama got in office for 8 years. Some of the same people that voted for Obama voted for Trump.
No criminal convictions, by the way.
Oh yeah, none.
In the whole 8 years. Go ahead though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but we're not gonna talk about some of the scandals Obama went through because people don't like to recognize that. But that's beside the point. What the point I'm trying to make is, compared to what? If you're willing to change the system, you have to first point to another system that's better off, and then secondly, give me the information to back up why that system would be better.
I'll put it like this. So we'll use your hip hop analogy and stuff, right? All right, taking it back to Eminem, you can't say that moving forward, for everything after the fact. Looking back, you can't mention hip hop without Eminem. Like me personally, like I wouldn't want a hip hop without an Eminem. I wouldn't want a hip hop without female MCs. Like for me, like okay, we can agree that typically hip hop, like everything else in America, is male dominated. But one thing about hip hop is
black male dominated.
Well, I'm speaking like on the general level, but like with hip hop, yeah, like you're right, it is black male dominated.
That's race and gender.
Okay,
that plays a major factor.
Right, but hip hop, as far as women goes, hip hop has never been like like fuck out of here and stuff. Like hip hop from the beginning, I'm talking about Roxanne Shante. I'm talking about like the beginning of hip hop has always been inclusive to women. Like the numbers have been off, yeah. Like I'll give you that.
Majorly,
but no, like not majorly, because like we've had more female MCs than we've had female people of importance in Congress and shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And more importantly,
you know the difference.
And more importantly,
you don't have to vote for them.
Okay, but I'm going off of your because you use hip hop instead.
Yeah.
So like just keeping it right there and everything. Like the difference is hip hop, like the attitude. Hip hop's not saying fuck out of here, but Congress is. Congress wants to keep that little circle of power and
so
shit.
You don't think hip hop discourages women?
That you're okay with that?
You don't think hip hop discourages women and women are treated differently in hip hop?
You don't
think they have to pass certain tests or to over exceed in order to be considered a major hip hop artist?
Okay, but like, let me ask you this though. You're right, but tell me one thing about America that you can't say that about.
My point exactly. So we shouldn't be focused on diversity. We should be focused on who's the best rapper. If you rap good and you make good music, I want to listen to you. Okay. And if I'm listening to you, you making sales. Now with the politicians, if you saying the right things and people voting for you, I can't help it that you're a white man.
But you can walk and chew gum too, though. You can look for the best MC and still be inclusive. Like they're not two exclusive things.
But it's not about inclusive. It's not about being inclusive. It's about what people want to listen to. And I'm sorry if most people don't want to listen to female rappers over black male rappers.
What's most people? Like what do you constitute as most people?
The sales represent what people want to hear. People buy what they like.
All right, but who's people to you though?
The average American.
Okay, so who's the average American to you? What does that look like to you?
Okay, the average American is somebody who's maybe works a job or two, not a billionaire, not a millionaire. Mm-hmm. Somebody who likes different types of music. Somebody who goes to work and work their job every day. Somebody who just wants a meal on their table, want their bills paid, and wants a few kids or whatnot, and want to live comfortably. Okay. That's the average American.
Okay, like racially, what do they look like to you?
Oh, majority of the country are white.
Okay, so white to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say the average, but the majority is white men and women. Okay,
so like what percentage of that do you think constitute as the people who are contributing to these like record high sales of hip hop?
I wouldn't want to make a speculation. I don't know that number, but what I will say is white people buy hip hop.
Right.
They buy a lot of hip hop.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, if everybody in the country votes and you happen to end up with 100 white men, the people have spoken.
Right.
Not all people got their vote.
So like to use your point, right? So like to use your point, right? Eminem, I think the only person that's beat him out is Jay-Z now, like recently. But like Eminem was the highest selling hip hop act in hip hop history at one point. That's a white boy.
And it wasn't because he was white.
That's a white I think part of the marketing of it was because he was white. But like even if he wasn't white, like lyrically, like the talent is there. And nobody disputes that.
So it's the talent.
But again,
it ain't the whiteness.
But like my whole point is that like the reason why like he was dope was because he brought his perspective. He wasn't a white boy talking about how you kill niggas in the hood, because that wasn't authentic. He brought his perspective. He talked about his fucking mom, and he talked about being bullied. He talked about like these core things, just like you said, the average American goes through. But he was able to talk about that perspective. Like that's why.
At what point does any of that matters that he's white?
Because it informs his experience. Like that's why that matters.
So if he was a black man and went through the same situation, it would have informed him differently.
Yeah.
How do you even begin to
It
make
would've
that
been-
speculation?
I'll put it like this, right? Okay, fine, because like you're right, because like I don't want to delve off into like theories and like opinions and shit. So like we'll talk about like what makes sense and shit, right? So like I can't like speak on his experience, but what I can speak on is the context and like why him being white is important on a consumer perspective and shit. You asked the question like, do you think part of that was him being white? And like I answered yes. Like I do think a big thing that helped Eminem was that he was white. You could say like a lot of reasons, but if we're just talking about hip hop, like the reason why that works is because like that's what hip hop is about. Hip hop is about standing out. Hip hop is about y'all doing that shit over here. Okay, cool. Like I'm gonna do this shit over here. You know what I'm saying? And what more extreme example of that is there?
How many Eminems are there?
Like there's only one. How many Jay-Z's are there though?
I mean, if you want to be comparative,
There's only
many
one.
black men. Yeah, there's only one Jay-Z.
How many Kanye's are there?
Yeah, another black man.
How many Princes are there? How many David Bowies are there?
Are we talking hip hop, right?
Okay, yeah. All right,
Okay, so we're talking hip hop. I can name 20 hip hop artists, black hip hop artists,
Okay.
off the top of the dome,
Okay.
easily. If I ask you to name me 20 black female artists, off the top of your mind, how hard would that conversation be?
Like the thing is this, bro, because we're gonna like go
In circles.
Yeah, I mean, and I could probably name you a good 10 off the top of my head. If I sat down and really thought about it and wrote it down, then I could come up with 20 and shit. But
you couldn't do it off the top of your dome, just like boom, 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 boom,
right.
boom, boom, boom.
Let's do it. You ready? Let's do it. All right, Queen Latifah, Lil Kim, Foxy Brown. Does Salt and Pepper count as one or two?
They were a group, but you can count them as two. I give you that. Salt and Pepper.
Nah.
Just to help you out.
Nah. I don't want no hands out.
Okay, 4.
All right, so we got Salt and Pepper, right? You got Lady Luck. You got Rhapsody. You got Lauryn Hill. You got Soleil. You got Kaya. You got Trina. You got City Girls. You got Cardi B. You got Bia. You got Malibu Mitch. Let's see. How many is that?
14.
That's 14. I said 10 off the top of my head. I just named 14, bro.
Now, if I told you to name 20 male artists, black male artists, let's try that.
What?
Name 20 black male artists.
I mean, but like we know. Like, that's redundant though, dog. Like the point is,
okay, so
the point is, you said I couldn't name a certain amount of like female MCs, and like my whole point, like the whole point is this, bro.
Is it possible?
Like the whole point is this,
black men rap better than any other group. Is it possible? Are you willing to say it's possible?
Rap's better.
They have the voice. They have the experience. They have.
I think about a Lauryn Hill though, bro. Like Lauryn Hill is one of the best rappers, not female rappers. She's one of the best rappers ever, bro.
So you want to hear music that's good, right?
Yeah.
Do you care about what gender the person is if the music is good? If they doing something that touches you personally?
But sometimes, like, what constitutes as good for me, like, I'm looking for a certain criteria.
Yes.
Like, for me, like, see, I'm not the average music. Like, when I listen to music, like, I listen to music. Like, I'm listening at fucking hi-hats and, like, reverb and like, where they put the reverb at and shit. Like, that's, like, I'm listening to that. I'm looking at cadences and how niggas flow fit in them pockets and shit. Like,
yeah. Like I
really look at that shit.
And all of that stuff has nothing to do with the gender of the person or the race, right?
No, but like the lyrics do, right? So for example, like like for me, like one of my favorite songs is X Factor by Lauryn Hill and shit, right?
What's one of your favorite songs? That's one of your favorite songs?
Yeah.
If it was written by a white person and you didn't know it at the time and you heard the song, you would still like the song, right?
Yeah. Oh, fuck
and it wouldn't matter
bro.
what the race of the person was.
Oh, fuck yeah. Like, I've been listening to Elton John and shit, bro. Like,
so,
you know what I'm saying? Like, good music is good music and shit.
When we boil it all down, we get back to the same simple solution. It doesn't matter the genitalia. It doesn't matter the race. It doesn't matter those factors. It really what matters is, are you listening to something you want to hear? And if people are voting for people that they personally feel speak to them and they have the majority, that's who gets the job.
But like,
I don't have a problem with that. It doesn't matter what the band race is. Doesn't matter what the genitalia is.
Like, let me help you out though. But see, like that, like this is why like you were trapped from the beginning, bro. Cause like that was a horrible analogy between hip hop and like I know you try to use something that I could associate with and shit, but like and like I let you like I followed you along with that shit. But like let me tell you why like that's a wrong thing and shit.
Okay.
You're trying to compare art to politics.
It's not
like
politics or art.
No.
You don't think it's art?
No, like I think that art, like music, like an art form like music, you're trying to compare that to politics.
Let me ask you this: is acting an art?
You know what I'm saying? Like you can, yeah.
Do you think politicians have to act?
I think they have to lie, yeah.
They have to act too.
But like, right, by lying.
They have to not necessarily lying.
I think that politicians. I think that there's like, you can say that, but like the reason why that falters is because that's not a politician's main job. You can say like that's how they do it. Like you can have like your opinion on how they do it, but we hire politicians not to fucking lie to us. We hire them to put in fucking bills that can help us as a fucking country, can help us as a community.
Is that why you hire politicians?
You can't. Yeah.
Everybody doesn't hire politicians for the same reason. This person might hire a politician because they agree with a certain policy.
Like whether or not, like whatever reason they choose, like they want to hire them, the politicians function, which is independent of anybody's reason or why they want to hire them and shit. Their function is to help the American people.
Everybody disagrees about how the American people needs to be helped. And that's why we have different parties. That's why we have different voters. It's because everybody feels like this is the best way to help the country. I believe that me and you can differ on politics, but we can still both agree that we want the country to be a better place or we want the country to be good.
Right.
It's just we have different opinions on how to reach that place.
But see, like that. A difference in opinion is not what's holding the fucking country back.
I don't think the country's being held back. I think we're progressing. I think the country is in a good standing and we're getting better.
Okay. Well,
trials and tribulations.
Well, again, like that, like what you stated, like that, like that's not even really like the real issue and shit. Like the issue is like greed. Like the issue is like this extreme form of capitalism. I do believe that capitalism on certain levels are good and like they're needed and shit. But like this excessive, like this almost Roman, like we're almost like in like this Roman, you know, fucking period and shit. Cause you're seeing like all these fucking senators, like how many fucking senators you see like in the news a day caught up in some sort of scandal cause like they done scam money from a fucking charity or you know what I'm saying? It's like you ain't there to do that shit.
That's the thing.
And like the problem is like they're in these positions, but like what the problem is, like the real problem is like you have these really people of ill moral character and shit. You know what I'm saying? Cause like we can talk about policies, but like they're people of ill moral character, and like the reason why that's important is because like they're more open to be swayed by like the tobacco industry or the fucking gun industry and shit, and like persuade like these like different laws and shit that like trickle down to like the people and shit.
You know why that is? Because it's hard as hell being a politician.
Man, it's hard as hell being an American, bro.
Yeah, but
like without a 100K salary and shit, bro.
True, but politics reaches out to the worst of us. And the reason that is because politics will always be dirty. And the reason politics will always be dirty because you need somebody in that office who's willing to push that button when the time comes. You need somebody who's willing to put that call in. And yeah, some innocent people may die, but it may save thousands of lives. Okay. That don't get the brightest of us. That don't get the most good moral intentions of us.
Yeah, it does, because you complain about that shit all the time. You talk about Obama. See, all that shit sounds good until like that shit applies to Obama. And then it's like, look what he did, or y'all use Obama and like the deeds that he did as a whataboutism.
No, nobody points out Obama in order to
you do.
Say Obama.
I'll give you an example.
Let me explain why. Let me finish my sentence. Nobody uses Obama to say, "Oh, look what Obama did." We use Obama in comparison to you didn't have a problem.
Whataboutism.
You didn't have a problem when this person did it. Why do you all of a sudden have a problem when this person does it? That's the cognitive dissonance that's going on.
No, like that's a narrative. No, like that's a narrative that y'all try to push in defense of y'all president and shit.
Okay,
because like nobody's saying, like for example, right? Because I'll use the example that I've heard the most when I'm talking to like Trump supporters. So like I'll bring up like the whole immigration issue. We'll call it immigration issue and shit that went on last year or so, and like. You know, oh my God, like Trump's doing this to immigrants and he's locking the niggas away and kicking niggas out and blah, blah, blah. And the first thing Trump supporters always want to throw in like niggas' face. But what about Obama? He set records for like the deportations and shit like that. And like that's what I'm saying. Like y'all, like I'm pointing to the moon, y'all looking at my finger and shit. Like the problem is not niggas are doing their job by keeping like the border safe. Like you ain't gotta put niggas in cages to do that though.
I think you're getting the wrong message when people say that. I think their message is not to say, well, look what Obama did. Their message is to point out your hypocrisy.
No. But like you ain't listening. Cause like I just addressed that before you even said that point. Like it's not an hypocrisy. Cause like what I'm saying is we're not tripping on the fact that he's deporting people and doing what your job is supposed to, which is fucking guarding the borders. That's not the issue. The issue is where we disagree that people on your side seem to be okay with is the method in which he's doing this shit. Throwing kids in the cages, separating kids and shit like that. But y'all say shit like, well, niggas shouldn't have crossed the border then. Nigga, like.
So you saying Obama? See that's the thing. When Obama separated kids from their parents, nobody said a fucking thing. Yeah. Now Trump does it. Oh, it's the worst thing in the world.
Obama didn't do that.
That's a hypocrisy. Yes, he did. Obama deported more illegal immigrants.
He deported.
How you think? You think that didn't separate families?
He ain't throwing niggas in fucking cages and shit.
You didn't think that separated families? You know why? Because Congress wouldn't pass the funding that they needed in order to get more space to put those people and house those people.
And then.
You know why? Because they hate Trump and they didn't want to help Trump accomplish anything. So Congress wouldn't pass the funds that was needed in order for the Border Patrol to house more people.
And then my thing is this. All right, watch this, y'all. Okay, cool. So let's entertain that. Like let's say like that is what it is. It is what it is, right? Like human nature. Like we can just it all comes down to human nature. And like that's kind of like your position. You feel like, okay, cool, like I don't like it's not that I don't like it, it's that like I understand it. It's human nature, right? Like that's basically what you're saying. Yes. Okay. And like that's cool, right? But like at what point, like let's sit there and entertain all that shit is true. Okay, but like don't you want better though? You don't want better for your kids? Like are you cool like with the way that the world is? Like do you want your kids with a better chance? Like do you want your kids with like a fucked up planet and shit?
No, of course not.
Okay, so like what? So like I don't understand.
But you're making the argument that if you don't agree with me, you must want these things for your kids. No. When other people say, no, I have a different way of achieving that you disagree with.
Did I say
but
that?
It's the assumption is built into your question. Because you're saying that, don't you want these things? I'm like, yes, I want these things. Then why would you agree with those things that's like, being done?
You don't believe in climate change?
I do believe in climate change.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. So like, as two people, like whether like we're on the same Democratic Party or you're Libertarian or whatever, like that's an issue that like despite our different sides that we occupy, that we can agree on and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But like,
yes, we just disagree on how to best deal with the issue. Right. That's the only thing we differ in. I believe climate change is a thing. Okay. I just don't believe we should take our economy and throw it to hell in order to try to fix it. I believe that innovation, I believe that science and technology needs to fix these problems, and people need to work hard to try to fix these solutions without destroying the economy in the process.
So like, that's something that you like disagree with Trump about then?
If Trump disagrees with that, then I disagree with Trump.
Okay. All right, cool. So like we found one thing that...
Of course. I should be able to disagree with Trump. I can support somebody and not agree with every single thing that they believe in.
I'm saying, like, you
now, I asked you with one thing you disagree with Obama about.
I'm saying, you gotta let me know, because according to shit, like, listening to you, nigga, you think Trump is Jesus or some shit.
Never
man.
That. I don't believe in Jesus. But the simple fact is that I'm asking you, what's your solution to fix climate change? I gave you my solution. Mm-hmm. Let's give science and let's give companies and engineers and people whose job it is to figure these things out time to figure it out. So, are you behind the Green New Deal?
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, no airplanes? No farting cows?
That's not what they're saying, bro.
All right, let me ask you this. What about climate change has to do with jobs that's guaranteed to people, for government jobs, for people who want to work? Okay. What that has to do with climate change?
So, like, just like you said, you're up for, like, new innovations and, like, technology and shit like that. So, what a part of that is coming up with, like solar panels? Maybe there's an opportunity. Solar panels. They're too expensive. Like, maybe, like, there's an opportunity for, like, a company that could, like, reduce the price of a fucking...
What about nuclear?
What about nuclear?
Most Democrats don't want nuclear. And nuclear is a safer option. But we don't want to talk about that.
But how you figure that?
The science has been done. People already said that nuclear is the better way to go.
Right.
But people are too concerned about a nuclear accident happening
Yeah.
But it's actually probably a better solution than
Right.
the way we're going now. But
Yeah, like,
I'm
either
asking
way-
you this: the Green New Deal is supposed to be about climate change. Why
Like,
is
my
there
point
stuff
is-
in
like,
there
my
about
point
giving
is-
people free jobs?
Like my point is this. Like my point is this, bro. Like we can go, like we can like take like a little fine like little comb and like
Oh yeah.
and like fucking see. 'Cause, like my thing is this, bro. I bring out a path or like a solution or something and shit. And like the first thing you want to do is nah, that shit can't work cause like this can go this way. And like you have a pattern of doing that.
What was your solution?
No, hold up. Like you have a pattern of doing that. Like even with like the whole including women or gay people or black people into like Congress and shit. Like your default go to is like, oh no, nigga, like that's like us unknown and shit like that.
That's
like,
not my default position. My default position.
I don't want to
is,
change this shit.
I'm
bro.
okay with that.
And like, that's
if
what I'm
they
saying
have the
about Trump
better
supporters,
ideas. If they don't have the better ideas, I don't care about their race or gender.
Man, but like, how you
I
know,
care about the better
but
ideas.
like, how you know like they don't though?
I'm willing to hear them out.
Okay then.
Many, like I said, many of the people who voted for Trump voted
Okay,
for
then.
Obama. They
Okay.
were willing to give Obama a chance.
Okay, so you said that you're willing to hear them out as if like you haven't given them that.
I have. I've heard AOC. She's crazy. The girl has lost her mind. She's
So why
a plant.
is she crazy?
She's a plant. A group got
Let's talk
behind
about
her
it.
and picked her.
Let's talk about it. So like, what about AOC is crazy to you?
She's not that smart. She says things that are inaccurate
Okay,
historically,
like
not
what?
true.
Like what?
When she compared what's going on with the border, and she compared that to like Nazi Germany concentration camps.
Man, we gotta pull that one up like to see what she said on that shit.
And we shall. And if anybody in the comments want to have information on that,
Nazi
please post
camps.
it. But she compared
I mean, but shit.
what's going on at the border as being like
I mean, but
Nazi
shit.
Germany
I mean, but
concentration
shit, but like,
camps.
but even this, I mean, like it may have been.
That's stupid.
Like if she said that, and like we're just cool with people like making exaggerations and shit. Like I would take that.
An
I would take
exaggeration.
that. Like
An exaggeration.
well, like what she said wasn't like you got kids in camps. Like that's
You
like,
know what?
like,
You know what
like, that's essentially
concentration.
what she was saying.
No,
and
she
shit,
said
right?
like Nazi Germany concentration camp.
Like I said,
you know what happened in
like I
concentration
said,
camps in Nazi Germany?
Like I said,
That's not an exaggeration.
Bruh.
That's a miscalculation.
Bruh, I just said it right now. Like that sounds to me like a fucking exaggeration and shit. And we can go back and forth, but whatever you think about that, like I'd much rather take like exaggeration.
Like when they call Trump Hitler.
I'd much rather take that type of exaggeration from
You think Trump is like Hitler?
from a fucking senator and shit, rather than the constant barrage of lies that we hear from your president every fucking day. I'll take that shit any fucking day.
No,
like, do I believe Trump
see,
is fucking Hitler? Like to answer that question and shit. Like so, like what I get from that like comparison.
What's anything like Trump that's like got to do with Hitler?
Yeah.
Compare.
Yeah. So
anything.
I'm trying to. So like Hitler, like the one thing Hitler and Trump got in common is they have a gift of talking to masses of people and getting them, being able to persuade them to their point.
Oh, so Obama was like Hitler too. Hillary Clinton was like Hitler too.
But like,
Bernie Sanders is like Hitler too.
But like when you're talking about like the rhetoric, right? Because obviously you can't like Obama's rhetoric is way different than fucking Hitler's rhetoric and shit, right? As far as being divisive.
Okay.
Like that's one thing that Hitler and Trump shares. Like their rhetoric is very divisive, and they're really good at persuading people over to their side.
You think Trump rhetoric is divisive? Do you know what that people thought of Hitler in Germany? People thought Hitler was a savior.
Come on.
People was lining up to follow Hitler anywhere. And I'm talking about the
what
whole country.
What Hitler did was the same thing that Trump did. Like he took and preyed on the fears and insecurities of a certain demographic in that nation, and like he weaponized it.
You think so? Or maybe, is it possible? Is it possible?
I'm not saying that like people don't feel like that. Like
because when you make that statement,
that's what I'm saying.
You're basically calling Trump supporters either too stupid to understand what he's doing, or
when I say stupid,
how else could they be misguided by Trump? How else could Trump persuade them unless they were ignorant or they were stupid?
No. Like the words I said was praise on fears and insecurities, right?
So you assume that we have fears and insecurities?
Hold up. I didn't say shit about intelligence in that. I specifically said fears and insecurities and shit. So like you're telling me that people don't have fears and insecurities?
Yes, people have fears and insecurities, but you're
okay,
making it
then.
seem like Trump is doing anything differently than any other politician that ever lived. Every politician gets up there and says the country is broken.
He's extremely
I can
divided.
fix it. We have these problems,
No
and I'm
other
going to take
president
care of
has
it.
called
for you.
Mexicans rapists. No other president have done a Muslim ban.
Trump
Like,
didn't do a Muslim ban. Trump
here
banned
we go.
people from certain countries that were known to be terrorist hotbeds.
Right.
Also, Trump did not call Mexican rapists. He said there are Mexicans who come over here who are rapists. He didn't say all Mexicans were rapists, and we know that both to be true.
We can sit here all day and like play like this little game, like, he didn't say that.
Because you twisting his words and you trying to
know,
make it mean something that didn't mean.
Like there's no such thing as a dog whistle, or like there's no such thing as this and that, or like they'll be like, he was just joking and shit.
A dog whistle, huh?
Oh my god, like
You know the thing about a dog whistle is only dogs can hear it. So when you say that Trump is dog whistling, you calling his Trump supporters dogs.
No,
you saying he his dogs.
You talk about intelligence and shit like that.
That we can only hear it.
You talk about intelligence like that was a really lazy metaphor and shit. But like let's break that down and shit, right?
I mean, you chose that metaphor.
Let's break that shit down, right? But what I'm saying is like that was with the assumption of you understand the deeper meaning of that shit.
So you saying Trump was dog whistling?
We'll break down like dog whistling and shit, right? Okay, so like if I'm a white supremacist, like I don't know, like Bill Duke, the leader of the KKK, who like openly supports Trump because he likes what he's saying. So like, all right, so like if I'm him, right, and like I'm hearing like this man, like tap dance on the line of really saying some real problematic shit, but it's just enough.
That's an opinion.
But like it's just enough that I mean, it's not an opinion because like this is actually like Bill Duke actually.
Your opinion,
your opinion
is that what Trump is saying is messed
for
up.
Us. Dude,
I'm not a white supremacist.
That's not what I'm saying though.
Did he dog whistle to me? I'm not a white supremacist.
Okay, like I've been saying since I've known you. Every time we talk about Trump, like what have I been saying about you? It's been about like
policies.
Right, exactly. Okay, so obviously. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about that section.
Which is a very small section of the country.
Apparently not.
So you saying majority of Trump supporters are racist?
No.
Are you saying majority of them are white supremacists or KKK?
No.
Okay, so for majority of his followers.
I'm saying this. As far as like the white supremacists openly like racist, like Nazi motherfucker and shit. I've seen like a lot of shit in my life, bro, but for some reason, I've never seen one of those motherfuckers who align with any other party but the Republican Party for whatever reason. Like, I don't know if it's something that
Who created the KKK?
Like them niggas on that side is fucking saying.
Who created the KKK?
Again, like it was the Democrats. But when was that though? How many years ago was that though?
It was what? That was in the 1800s.
Okay then. Okay, bro.
Still the simple fact is.
Okay, so I did like the Democrats and like the Republican disposition changed at some point. I did it switch at some point.
No.
Oh no?
No.
Oh, what'd you say? Oh, really? So what'd you say last time though?
No, the only thing about
really?
it, liberals.
You didn't say that last time.
Liberals hide it better.
Hold on.
Let me explain something.
Hold on. Like last time, you didn't say that shit last time.
There were Democrats who switched over to the Republican Party.
Oh my
But at
God,
no point was the Republican Party
okay, fine. Like, let's break it down
filled
real
with
simple.
racist.
Let's make it down real simple. All right, so like, is the Republican Party now the same Republican Party that was back then during those times?
No.
Okay then. Okay, so like at
that
some point,
mean that
so like
they
at some point, like they
racist.
switched. At some point, it switched. Like there was a switch to where like there was a transition from one form of that Republican Party to the next, right?
That doesn't mean they switched to racism.
But like we can acknowledge like that, right?
Yeah, they change.
Okay,
people
all right,
change.
cool.
People come in, people leave,
cool.
And the party changes.
All right, so like just like you said, our KKK started with Democrats. Like your response to like the whole switch was that some of those Democrats went over to the other side, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
But they didn't switch the whole party.
Okay, cool. So like when you said but like there's still elements from which you fucking stated was the party that created the KKK, it switched over to the
and you don't
Republican
think some of them
Party,
stayed?
right?
You don't think some of them stayed
Oh
to the
yeah,
Democrats?
oh yeah, definitely.
So your point is
definitely though. Okay, but like, my point is like they may be true, but like to echo your point and like your complaint is that like Democrats typically tend to have like this like free love for everybody like
except
like
white
we're more
men.
hold up
except
like we're like
white
more
men,
inclusive
Christians.
like we're more.
Except white men, Christians, Christian white men.
Which others are? I mean, I'm gonna let you like defend white people and I'm sorry, old white men and shit. Like I let you do that. Like,
no, I'm defending people.
No,
because I don't see
you
all
didn't say
that.
people.
Yeah,
You didn't
because
say people.
you
You said all white
claiming
men.
that
You
Democrats
jumped to that defense real, like, for whatever reason, like, you picked that out.
because
Shit,
you
so
exclude
that's
you
cool.
missing the major point is Democrats don't fight for white people. They don't fight for white men.
Oh my god!
Do you think white men don't
Go
suffer
ahead,
in this
man.
country?
Dog.
You think there ain't white poor people in this
Go
country?
ahead. I'm gonna let you like defend white people. Go ahead, bro.
No, I'm defending people. It's a poor people problem. It's a people who need stuff problem. It's not a problem about whether you black, white, Hispanic. It's about those in need should get help. It shouldn't be about we gonna help just this people. We need to help all people who need help.
Okay.
And at least the Republicans don't pander to certain groups. Republicans
ask
are
you
willing to
this.
say, hey, if we do this, it will help all people.
Let me ask you this. Right? So like,
I'm not even a Republican. I'm a right libertarian. It's sad that I have to defend a Republican.
you good? All right. So look, okay. Like, let me ask you this though. Right? All right. So like, you think, like, me, like, just clear this up because like, you said this a little earlier, and maybe I misunderstood it and shit. So like, you feel that like white old men are inherently more qualified to like direct like this country than any other race.
No, I asked you, is it possible?
So we agree on that thing.
What I'm saying is it possible that those are the people that's best for the job just so happen to be old white men? That's my question. Is it possible? Are you willing to give me that possibility? Just like I said, what if the best rappers are black men? It's possible, right?
Well, again, like that, like again, I wouldn't have used hip hop and shit, but like.
But it's possible. It's
like
possible.
Like, let me answer, bro. Like to your question and shit, right? Is it possible, like, for it to be like just all white men, and like that may be possibly better for a whole country that's not just of all old white men?
It
like,
may not even be better.
I don't think in any situation where one group whose job it is to reflect multiple different groups with multiple different interests, like, I don't think the best way to go about that, the most efficient way to go about that, is by having
it never will
this like
be.
exclusive group.
It never will be, because I don't care if you replace it with if every position
in the
replace, government
like, just add
was
on.
equally balanced.
You don't have to replace anything. Like, just add on. Like, just
okay.
include.
Let's add on.
Just include. Like, what's the problem with?
Let's add on. Let's say it was equal across the board. Let's say it was 50 blacks, 50 Mexicans, 50 Asians, 50 whites, 50 women of different colors of each. Let's say it was equal all across the board. They still wouldn't be able to make the right decisions for everybody in this country, because everybody don't have the same interest. And it doesn't not matter what gender you are. It doesn't matter what race you are. That does not determine your needs and wants.
Check this out. Like, the Lakers don't make every shot, but like that don't mean that you don't want to include pieces that's going to help that percentage rise. It may not be perfect, but progress should be the mission. Like, whether you're Republican, Democrat, like whatever the fuck you are, like, at the end of the day, you should want to be put in the best position possible.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, then.
You can want it all you want. I'm just telling you, your mission will never be satisfied.
So, like,
you will never get to the point where you feel like, you know what, this is great.
Okay. And like, cool, like,
that's one thing wrong with progressives. They gotta be progressive.
Again, it's progress, not perfection. Because like, we can sit here like all day. Like, according to your criteria, you're talking about perfection. Like, the reason I say that is because like, no matter what I bring up, like, where you stop at is okay, but like, it'll never work because of this.
No.
Like, we're not fighting that and shit like that.
You gotta stop somewhere.
No, like, you gotta start somewhere.
You gotta stop somewhere too. You gotta start and you gotta stop somewhere. They don't know where their stopping point is. Okay. You give them an inch, they keep taking a mile, and when they get that mile, they take another mile.
And like, cool,
you'll
like,
never be happy.
And like, that may be true, whatever, like that. Like, at this point, like, I'm not even just talking. I'm not talking about like political factions and like all that shit. Because for me, like, this is real fucking simple. Like, this is about what works. It's not about right and wrong. It's about what works and what doesn't fucking work. You know what I'm saying? Like,
true.
So for you rather keep it like the way it is, because like that equals stagnant. Stagnant is death. You want to constantly be evolving. You want to constantly be growing. What's the problem with that?
Nothing's wrong with that.
Okay, then.
That's how humans are.
Okay.
I'm just telling you the truth of the matter is we can acknowledge that's a truth, but you can also acknowledge that if you're never going to be happy, we're going to keep playing this game over and over and over again.
Life,
and
though.
One day it's going to cost us to the point where you can't recuperate.
Okay.
And all Republicans are saying is, wait, slow down. Before you try to make all these changes, you might want to reconsider why these things are the way they are. Because some of these things are good things. And if you mess with something, it's going to have negative consequences.
Let me ask you this. Okay, so like in a situation where like the Democrats are based and like however you want to say like there are ways of going about it, like the point that I'm trying to highlight is that the majority recognizes like there's a problem with climate change. There's a large percentage of the other side that keeps trying to discredit that.
No.
Really?
I don't know where you get that from.
Like, so Trump's for climate change.
Every Republican I've ever met agrees that if climate change is a thing,
but we're talking
then
about like
we should do something about it.
Like we're talking about like the leadership and everything. Like 9 times out of 10,
I don't care what Trump says.
I mean, what you do,
you assume, you can't say that. I'm not a one issue voter. I don't vote based on one issue.
Bruh.
That's the important thing that you got to realize. A lot of people vote for certain issues. I vote for the entirety of a person's platform.
Okay.
So if Trump says that climate change is a Chinese hoax, I disagree with him about that. But I may agree with him on other things that may be more important to me than what the Democrats have to offer.
Well, then we agree then.
Okay. So I'm glad we agree.
You agree. And you agree with me then. Like, all you like basically did was just say that like you don't like that whole monologue was about like he just like don't agree with what Trump is saying and shit. But like what we can agree is that like Trump is fucking openly, blatantly saying like no, like that shit don't fucking exist and shit.
He has said that in the past, yes.
Right. Okay.
But Trump has also put together a panel to figure out this climate change thing. So I mean, maybe something will come of that.
Like, which one is it? Like, you don't believe in it, or like he's like putting together.
You can not believe in something and still be willing to say, okay, if you say it's a thing, let's figure it out.
Yeah, and like you can say that like behind closed doors, or you can say that like you could say anything in the world, but like you decided like just to say that like. So what are you saying? Like he's playing with us and shit again. Like what you trying to say?
I'm not saying he's playing with us. I'm saying if Trump really believes that he's wrong.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I'm willing to say that.
Right.
And Trump could really believe in climate change. That he might feel like it's better to a lot of people in order to get their vote.
Okay.
It's possible.
Look, and like again, like that's fine. Like I hear what you're saying. Like there's other qualities about Trump, right? Like Kobe don't make every shot. Like there's some things he may be wrong on and shit. Okay. Cool.
Definitely.
Okay. Cool. I'll give you that.
Or a lot of things.
Okay. Cool. And I'll give you that. But like, why not? Like for me, if I'm a CEO of like $1 billion company. Like, I think, like, the best thing as a CEO that you can do is recognize where you're weak at. Because, like, then you go hire motherfuckers who are strong at that shit, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, what if I, like, run, like, Facebook, but, like, we're particularly weak in India and shit?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Or somebody who's, like, well-versed in, like, India problems and shit. Like, why would I not fucking go grab somebody where I may not know something more about?
Because if the alternative is worse, I'm going to stick with that.
Okay, but, like, what about... seeing a problem, going to hire somebody who has expertise in that problem, like what about that equals to you making that situation worse?
I mean, it didn't make it worse. I think Trump put together a panel to figure out this climate change thing. So I think he's done that. Okay,
cool. So like that's cool for Trump, but I'm talking about like the principle that we're discussing and shit, which is inclusion and shit, right? Because like your previous like position on that was just leave the shit how it is and like including somebody else. That's not what I'm saying. That's a gamble and shit.
I've said it many times. I'm not saying just leave it as it is. What I'm saying is if you're going to change something, make sure it is based on the right things, not the wrong things. It shouldn't be based on race. It shouldn't be based on gender. It should be based on ideas. I'm all for diversity of ideas.
I agree with that.
When you talk about diversity, I hope you're speaking about ideas. I don't care about what people's color is or what they...
I agree with that. But like the sad... Like whether you agree with it or not, like we can sit here and go back and forth, dog. But like when it comes to ideas and experiences and know-how, race, your experience, where you come from, where you lived, your family, like all those things come into play.
Yes, and all white people have different experiences. All black people have different experiences. Mexicans, Asians, it doesn't matter. People come from different backgrounds, different experiences, different neighborhoods, different schools. So you cannot base a person's experience off of their skin color. You cannot base it off of their genitalia. You just can't.
I'll put it like this.
So I don't even see why those things are even a topic.
I'll put it like this. Okay. If you had an issue, right, about white men. No. Let's not do white men. Let's do okay, fine. Like let's do white men. No, fuck it. Let's keep it simple. All right. Like black women and shit, right?
Okay.
Okay. So you have two candidates. You have a white girl and you have a black woman, and like they both entered college at the same time, got the same degree, both equally qualified and shit. And like each of them have an expertise in African American studies. For some reason, the white girl has a PhD in that shit. Right?
So they're exactly the fucking same.
It's the same woman. I ain't gonna say bitch. Okay. It's the same woman. You know what I'm saying? And they're both equally.
I'm never gonna get monetized with this.
I know, yeah. I know. I was thinking about that shit right now. Like they're both the exact same woman. They both bring the exact same thing, same expertise and shit. Like, who are you choosing?
The one who makes me feel the best.
Oh, Harvey Weinstein ass nigga over here, bro.
Like I said earlier,
makes you feel the best.
politics is an art.
What does that mean? See, look,
It depends how a person talks to you.
No, see, look, like politics, like that statement, politics is an art, is just making this shit sound pretty. See, like,
it's true though.
See, like, what he just did right now, he took something simple and he made it convoluted and complicated.
I said a simple answer. Whichever one makes me feel better.
Which one would you choose and shit? This nigga.
I need more information.
This nigga muddy. Right, exactly. But why though? But why?
Because they're exactly the same.
That's an easy fucking.
You want me to be racist?
Okay. Look, if the problem was, if there was like some sort of issue with black women specifically, you're telling me that like you think like if you had those two candidates, you gonna sit there and think twice about this shit?
Yeah, well, if I don't want to be accused of being racist, I don't want to be racist. I don't want to choose people based on their skin color. How is that racist though? Because I'm separating people based on their skin color. That's racism.
No, that's not.
I'm discriminating against the white girl because she's not black.
You're not discriminating. You're going with the more qualified.
How is she more qualified because she's black?
Because
you just said they got the same qualifications.
Because like she's lived the fucking black experience. Like I don't.
But
like,
you just said they have the same experience,
like,
the same education.
As far as school and shit, yeah.
But not the same experience.
Okay, look. Check this out.
I thought you said they was exactly the same.
Check this out. So like black girl lives her fucking life as a black woman, goes to fucking school, studies black women, PhD or whatever you want to call this shit, right? Okay, cool. So white girl completely, like the stereotypical white experience and shit, like Beverly Hills, whatever, super rich daddy and shit like that, right? Okay. You telling me?
So they got different experiences, but they got the same education.
Yeah. So when I said experience, like I was talking about work experience.
Okay, I thought you said they was exactly the same. No, the only difference was their color.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I meant exactly the same professionally and school and degrees and all those markers that you would.
I would choose a black woman.
Why?
Because I know that black people are more likely to react to another black person better than they are to a white person. That's because of culture. Okay. Black people they tend to be more understanding of black women. So I think she would be more effective in her job.
Okay, cool. That's all I'm saying.
But it's not based on her race. It's based on the mind state of people.
Okay, which is informed by what? In that particular science. Exactly. Got his ass. So look. So, like, that's why it's important to be inclusive and shit. Because, like, there may be somebody that can offer you a different perspective that you may not even fucking thought about.
Or I could get a black dude or a black woman in there that don't believe in none of the same shit that I believe in. And they might be worse for me than the white dude. What if that white dude was going to actually help me? And I voted for the black dude because he was black, and he ended up hurting me.
Well, that sounds like an experience problem. That sounds like an experience problem and like an adequacy problem. Like that doesn't sound like it was because he was black or because he was white. Like that sounds like he just wasn't competent enough.
Yes, and I shouldn't choose him because of his color. I shouldn't choose him because he was the best for the job.
Okay, cool. All right, so why not choose somebody who's the best for the job and
if the best person for the job happens to be black, I would choose that person.
And part of them being the best at that particular job
is based on their race.
It's important for them to be black.
That's racist.
That's not racist.
That's like a white man saying it's important that the person who comes in here is white because he's more likely to get along with the other white people here. That's racist. No. You would say that was racist under any other circumstances. If you use that same example,
I didn't say that.
If a white person voted for another white person because they were white, you wouldn't say that was racism?
Like what you did was you just threw in a whole bunch of shit that I didn't even fucking say, bro.
I'm just saying flip the script. Make it white people.
That wasn't the same fucking thing.
It's racist then.
That's not racist, bro.
So if a white person chooses a person because they white, that ain't racist.
It's not racist. We'll take gay people. Like it's not like it wouldn't be fucking. What's the word? Like that's against homo. homosexuals. It wouldn't be
homophobic. I don't believe that's a thing.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be fucking like whatever it is against homo people. You know, if I
homosexuals.
If I
never get my
like selected.
I'm never getting monetized.
And they're gonna be like, man, what happened to Dre, man? I can see him on
He ain't just Dre, he more than Dre.
Man, shit. Man, that nigga's fucking me up, man. He was fucking me up, man.
Showing up 30, 45 minutes late.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man, you know.
Go ahead, continue. Let's cut it here. Let's cut it here. You want to wrap up?
Man, it's whatever, bro.
Give a summary. Wrap up what you saying.
I like seeing you tap dance and shit, bro.
Oh, so man, I'm bringing
it's whatever for me.
I'm bringing
you know
it.
My man.
But you know, to treat people differently based on their race is the very definition of racism. You discriminate against people because of characteristics that they cannot change. Something that they did not choose. I didn't choose to be black. You should not judge me based on my skin color. Anytime you do that for the good or bad, that is racism.
Let me ask you this. Like, do you think I can tell a white man more about his experience as a white man than he can?
Depends.
Really?
Yeah, you grew up in the same area. You had some of the same experiences as that white man. You probably even relate to him more than that white dude that grew up in a whole different situation. It depends.
So like you would, okay, so like let's say like in your situation, like
you denying that?
Yeah.
How?
I do.
Me and you both black, and we
like
disagree about so many different things.
Right.
I guarantee you, it's a white dude out there that agree with you more than he agrees with me. You wouldn't side with him.
But you seem, even though you're black, you subscribe to like a lot of white shit though.
That ain't white shit. That's that same mentality in the black neighborhood when you speak properly.
So when I go against you, no. I'm talking about on how you look at shit. Like for example, you thinking that old white men are somehow inherently more qualified.
I never said that. You keep accusing me of that.
Like we run like the tape back.
Yes,
please.
Like,
we run that shit back. I wish we
could have cleared this up like twice.
No, like now.
I said if the people who are more qualified happens to be white men, that's who I'm going with. I go with the most qualified.
You asked me a question earlier. And again, like let's run the whole tape back. Like, I don't know if we even like recorded that part yet, but I pray we did though. You asked me a fucking question, asking me as if I don't like what you don't think that like white people are better at running the country than like this other race and shit.
I said, is it possible that the group of people who's running the country just so happens to be better for it?
No, it's not.
Happens to be white.
No, it's not.
Is it possible? So you're not willing to give that to me?
Are you?
I'm willing to say anything's possible. It's possible.
Believe?
I'm not telling you to say that's the situation.
Like, that's a whole bunch of lip service though. Like that's like Republicans.
Okay, let me ask you this: is it possible
that's an easy
that
thing.
the best people that can run this country are black and women? Is it possible that those are the best people for the job?
That is a probability.
That's all I'm asking for the white people. Is it possible? Is it probable? That's all I'm asking.
No, I don't
you
think
let the change of genitalia and race change your whole outlook on the same scenario.
No, I will say this right here. I will say that I think that it would be more effective. It would be better to include many perspectives and different experiences and stuff for all the reasons that I listed previously and stuff. I don't think that keeping shit the way that it is, or at least how it's been in the past however many years, where it's just this one group of old white men, and this spirit of not being inclusive and shit. Like I don't see like in any world like where that would be a positive to remain stagnant.
I can tell you this much: I hope that's not the case. I hope that the most experienced people come in different shapes, forms, and all different variations. I hope that's the case. But if it's not the case, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get the best result.
Okay.
So I hope that the best people who can run this country happen to be a diverse group of people. If that's not the case, I'm willing to vote for all old white men if that's the case.
Y'all should have heard this man last night. He changing up. He done thought about it overnight and was like, damn.
We could have recorded that if you would have showed up earlier. But we running up on time.
Black people, man.
You know, we on to the hour, so we gonna call it the day. You know, say goodbye to Just Dre.
What's up?
All right, you came, you saw. Now run and tell them I said it. And if they ask for me by name, make sure you say it twice. This is The Javier Show.